Hi guys, my name is Muhammad, and in today's video I'm doing end of the year book tag. I got the questions from Destiny. I saw her video and loved the questions, so I thought, why not do it? So let's just get right into it. Okay, so I wrote the questions on my iPad, and the first question is most disappointing read of the year. So I have quite a few for this question. These books I'm going to talk about, they are not necessarily one-star reads, but they were disappointing for different reasons. I have 4 books on this list. One of them I'm not going to talk about because the author is quite problematic, and I just don't want to advertise her books anymore. So I'll be talking about 3 books. The first one is Five Survive by Holy Black. This one was one of my most anticipated reads for 2023. And it quite disappointed me. I gave it 3 stars. I just felt like the concept was really good, and the execution was kind of good, but the characters annoyed me so much. The ending was okay. It just like didn't live up to the hype to what I thought it would be. Like, I loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. It's one of my all-time favorite series, but this just didn't do it for me. Next, also disappointing, was A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. This is the 3rd book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. I give this 4 stars, but it had so much potential to be a 5-star read. It just like did not live up to the expectations I had. So many unanswered questions, so much Apollo. Oh, he's not a main character. I don't know why we got so much of him. And list of Jack. We needed more Eva and Jack. So many plot holes. I feel like she sacrificed making this a good book because she wanted to set up for future books, and that affected this book. So yeah, this was not as I expected. I'm just happy we got our happy ending, but at what cost? And next we have King of Pride by Anna Huang. This is the 2nd book in the Kings of Sin series, I believe. Yeah, that's the name, Kings of Sin series. The first book is King of Wrath, and I gave that book 4.5 stars. It was pretty good, but now that I think about it, maybe a 4 or 3.5 is the actual rating because now my taste changed a bit. But yeah, this one was 3 stars for me. It was not good. It did not give. The characters were bland. They just did not serve. And the ending was anticlimactic. I thought I expected more of the ending of the 3rd act. It was quite normal, okay, nothing special. And it just didn't do it for me. Yeah, so these are all of the disappointing reads. 4 stars, 3 stars, 3 stars. So they're not necessarily bad, but they just disappointed me because they were anticipated reads of the year. Next question we have is Underdog Book of the Year. So a book that surprised me and turned out better than I expected it would. That is I Must Betray You by Ruta Sepetys. I think I butchered her name, I'm not sure, but this is a historical fiction. It was so good. I give it 5 stars. This is one of my favorite books. I really want to reread it soon. But it talks about Romania in 1989 and the revolution that happened, and how they got liberated and all this. I really liked the characters, liked the story, the ending. Everything in this book was really thought out, and the chapters were short too, so you could fly through it. And it was really interesting because I literally couldn't trust anyone. The concept of the story doesn't make you know who to trust because anybody could betray you. I mean, the title of the book just describes it all. I Must Betray You. Anyways, I highly recommend this book. Even if you don't read historical fiction, like this book, I didn't read historical fiction. I think this is my first historical fiction, and I loved it so much. So even if you don't read historical fiction, just give this book a try. Just trust me and give it a try. You won't regret it. Next question we have is favorite book couples of the year. Okay, so I have 3 book couples. I'm trying not to repeat the books, so I tried as best as I can, but you will see some repetitions. Anyways, first is Warner and Juliet from Shatter Me series. If you don't know, Shatter Me series is one of my all-time favorite series. I read the series at the start of 2023. And I finished it, I think, in April or May because I didn't read it all in one. I read quite a few books between reading the books of Shadow Me series, but Werner and Juliet are one of my all-time favorite couples. I can't stop thinking about them. There isn't a day that I don't think about them at least once. So you could do with that all you want, but yeah. Next we have Johnny and Shannon from Boys of Dawn series. They had By Name Keeping 13. I love them so much. Like the books were so good, even though they were huge. They are huge, like 800 pages, I guess, but they were so good. I just love them so much, and they deserve everything. They deserve to be happy. They deserve the world, especially Shannon, because she went through so much. But please, before reading this series, check your warnings, because it is not for everyone. The topics discussed in this book is not for everyone because it's quite hard to read. Like, I needed to stop reading the ending of book 1 because it got so much intense that I couldn't continue reading. I had to take a break and then get back and read it. So yeah, it deals with heavy topics, so be aware. But yeah, I love them so much, and they are one of my favorite couples. And the last couple is India and Ryan from The Right Move. It's the second book in the Windy City series. The first book is Mile High, and I gave that book 4 stars. It was okay, I guess. And the second book I gave 5 stars. It is one of my favorite reads of 2023. I want to read it so much. India and Ryan, they just were chef's kiss. Like, I love them so much. They understood each other, they loved each other, they were there for each other, and their relationship dynamic was just it was so good. Just read this book. You don't have to read the first one, even though if you read the first one, you will appreciate the character development of them in the second book, because they make a few appearances in the second book, so you will appreciate the second book more, I guess. But the first one was not that bad. It was okay. Like, I gave it 4 stars, so I enjoyed it, but it had some problems. Anyways, next question is favorite main characters of the year. I have 3. Juliet from Academy series. The character development she went through, oh my god. I love her so much. She is so strong. She went through a lot, but even though she kept fighting till the end. And second, we have Charlotte from Darling Venom. She also went through a lot. Like, that book broke me and made me cry 2 times. I loved her character so much. She also kept fighting. She tried her best to reach where she reached at the end of the book. So yeah, and the third main character is Oren from Play-Doh Prison series. It's a dark fantasy romance series. It's 6 books, but for now 5 books are out. I love her so much. Like, her character development through this series was one of the best character developments I've ever read. Like, just seeing where she is now and where she was at the first book, just mind-blowing. So yeah, these are my favorite 3 main characters of 2023. Book that surprised you. Okay, this surprised me in a dark way. Like, I didn't expect the ending of this book because it was so dark and creepy and just stays with me to this day. But the book is Then She Was Gone by Liza Jewell. This book is quite predictable. A lot of people I know predicted this book, the plot of this book. But the ending just surprised me so much because I didn't think the author was going to take that turn, but she did. It was a bold move, actually, because I don't remember reading a thriller book that took that turn, but it was so dark. It just made me feel, I don't know how to describe the feeling. It just so disgusted or eerie or creepy, or I don't know, just it was not comfortable to read the ending of this book. And I wouldn't recommend it unless I know the person would be able to handle that feeling. It's not a book that I recommend to anybody. Next question, we have new favorite author you discovered in 2023. It's an author that I'm reading her book now. It's Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I discovered this author in maybe August or September, but I'm currently reading her book. I just have 60 pages left, and this book is going to be one of my favorites of 2023. It is so good. The banter between the characters, the pacing, the writing, the story, everything. It is not something unique, I could say that, but the author makes it unique in her own way with her own characters. And the banter and the emotions between the characters is what makes this book so good. So yeah, I hope to read more of her books. I believe it's the only book out that she wrote. The second book for this trilogy is coming out in July, so looking forward to that. Next question, we have a happiest read of the year. So these books are not necessarily happy, but they made me happy and they have happy endings. And these books are... wait, where's the second book? Okay, here it is. It's Reckless and Powerless by Elsie Silver. This is the third and this is the fourth books in the Just Now Spring series. It's a cowboy romance. And I read these this year. Both were 5 stars. I love them so much. They made me so happy, even though they have some dealing with traumatic past or events, or just like they are not just fluffy romance books. There's obviously topics discussed in these books, but they made me so happy when reading them, and I totally recommend this series. It's 5 books: Flawless, Heartless, Powerless, Reckless, and then Hopeless is the last book. Yeah. Next question, we have most frustrating book you read in 2023. So I have 2 books. One was 5 stars, which was so frustrating, and one who was 2 stars, which was frustrating in the opposite direction. And these books are Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. This book was so frustrating. I could write a 10-page essay on why this book was so annoying, frustrating. The main character was insufferable, and she was so annoying. If I say annoying one more time, it just was so... I don't know the word to describe this book. I would just won't recommend it, yeah. The side character here annoyed me so much. The plot revolved around him, and it was not about him. We should have got over that quickly. I wrote a full review on why I gave this book 2 stars. But yeah, this was so frustrating, and I know a lot of people love this book. It's pretty popular on Book Talk and Bookstagram, but I just can't understand why. There was maybe 2 things I like: the male main character and maybe one of the side characters, or a few of the side characters. Actually, I really want to read Henry's book because he was the best side character in this one. And if I didn't like this book, then maybe this author is just not for me. But this was so frustrating to read. And my sister told me to not read this book after she gave it, I think, 2.5 or 2 stars, because she got so frustrated. She was so mad when she finished this book, and she didn't want me to read it because she knew I won't like it. But I said I wanted to try it for myself, and I wish I didn't try it for myself, because I can't. Next frustrating book, but I give 5 stars. It's frustrating in a fun way, if that makes sense. It's Magnolia Parks by Just Hastings. This is the first book in the Magnolia Parks series. There's 3 books for Magnolia Parks, and I think there's going to be 4 books for Daisy Hates, but 2 Daisy Hates books are out. So it's 2 main characters in the same world, Magnolia Parks and Daisy Hates. But this book was so frustrating, but I loved it for the drama. It was drama filled, and I was there for it. But it is not for everyone, and I can see why it's not for everyone. It gives Gossip Girl vibes a lot, and I think the reveal at the end is why it's not for everyone and why it's so frustrating, because it is. It made me so mad and I was so upset, but I ended up giving it 5 stars because it was entertaining. Next we have Best Adaptation of the Year. There's 2 for this. The Summer I Turned Pretty season 2, which came out in July. I didn't like this season so much, but I gave it 6 out of 10 stars. I rate movies and TV shows from 10 and books from 5, if you don't know. But it was visually appealing, even though it was quite annoying at some points. But the best adaptation of the year goes to... Where's the book? I can't find the book. Yeah. The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. The movie was a great adaptation. I gave it 8 of 10 stars. I had some problem. They changed a few small details that would have made like an important insight on some characters. By the way, ignore the background noise because I think somebody is doing something, the neighbors or something, and I just ignore it. I was saying that they changed a few small details that would have made as an important insight on some characters and how they truly are in their inner body, inner monologue. I don't know how to describe that, but yeah, it was like the best adaptation of a book this year. And if you didn't read this book or the Hunger Games series, what are you waiting for? Go read them right now. Also, I tabbed this. I don't know if you can see clearly, but this is the first book that I tabbed, I guess, and I quite enjoyed that. Every tab means something. I have 8 tabs, and each tab means something. I don't know if you can see clearly, but yeah. Next question, we have longest book you read this year. I already said this. It's Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh. It was not 800 pages. It's I think 600 pages and okay, it's 605 pages. This is the longest book I read this year. And the shortest book I read this year is Fracture Me. This contains 2 novellas, Destroy Me and Fracture Me, and Fracture Me is the shortest book I read this year. It's from Adam's POV, and we don't care about Adam. But anyways, let's move on. Favorite covers of the year. I have 2 choices for this. It was hard actually because I have favorite covers, but not from this year. But from this year, I would say either Magnolia Parks. The details are just like so well done, especially when you know what each detail means on the cover. And I love the Shatter Me covers. I love the eye covers so much, especially Believe Me and Ignite Me and Restore Me and Define Me. Like the rest of the series have greater covers than the first book, but yeah, I love the covers of the Shatter Me series. Next question, we have a book you haven't stopped thinking about. I have 3 choices for this. First, we have Ignite Me by Tahira Mafi. This is my favorite book in the Shatter Me series. I can't stop thinking about this specific book in the series, let alone like when I enjoy it in general. But this specific book, it is one of my all-time favorites. If there was a fire in the house, I would take this book first. I would protect this book with my life. But yeah, this one, and also Keeping and Binding 13. I can't stop thinking about these 2 books. They just like hold a special place in my heart. They have a piece of my soul, and I just can't stop thinking about them. And the last one, it's not actually a book, it's a manga. It's Spike's Family. This one consumes me every day, every minute, every second. Like, I love this manga so much. I read 5 volumes this year of this manga, and the character just brings me comfort. If I'm in a sad mood or a bad mood or I'm upset or frustrated or anything, this manga could just fix this in a heartbeat. Or the anime. I'm currently watching the anime too for the manga. So yeah, this manga is so good. If you don't read mangas and you want to start, this is the perfect place to start. Next we have cringiest book you read this year. I don't have a book for that because I don't think I can categorize a book as cringiest of all the books I read this year. Okay, maybe there were cringy scenes in some books I read, but I cannot categorize a book as the cringiest. Next we have Unpopular Book You Loved. So this is not really unpopular, but the first book was most popular than the second book, and this is, I don't know where it is. Okay, yeah, it's here. Travis by Mia Sheridan, I think her last name is. This is Travis's story. If you don't know, Archer's Voice is the first book, and it's about Archer and his story, obviously, and Travis is about Travis. This is basically a redemption arc for Travis because of what he did in the first book, which is Archer's Voice. And this is quite unpopular, I feel. Archer's Voice is obviously so unpopular on Bookstagram and Book Talk and everywhere, and I love this so much. I give it 4.5. It was a perfect redemption arc for Travis. Ending made me sob because It was so filled with emotions, especially with Travis and Archer and the talking between them and what Travis did to redeem himself. So I highly recommend reading this book if you read Archer's Voice. If you didn't read Archer's Voice, you won't appreciate this book. You won't appreciate this book as much. So I highly recommend reading Archer's Voice and then reading Travis, because it would be a whole great experience if you read these two books in order and not like this without Archer's Voice. Next question we have is, what was the highest and lowest rated books you read this year on Goodreads? Do you agree? Okay, so the highest book rated on Goodreads is a book I won't advertise. Like I said, it's the first book in a series. Like, my first question was most disappointing read of the year, and that answer was the sequel to this book. So I won't talk about these books because, like I said, I don't want to support this author. But that was, I think you guys know what's the highest because it's obvious. Like, if you know, you know. The lowest rated book on Goodreads is Fracture Me by Tahir Mafi, which is from Adam's POV, and we all know why it's the lowest rated, because it's Adam, and he was not tolerable in his novella. So yeah. Next question, we have favorite quotes of the year. I have so many favorite quotes, I can't pick one, but I will put here a few if I found. If I didn't found, then you won't find anything here. It's hard to pick favorite quotes because every book I read I have favorite quotes from. So yeah. Next question, we have a book with the most unique concept. I have one book and one manga. The manga is obviously I just talked about, which is Spike's Family. The concept is really unique in my opinion. The main character is a spy. And he needs to form a family to infiltrate a boarding school. Why, you may say? Because he's after a man. He wants to infiltrate his circle, this man's circle, because this man like jeopardizes the peace between the East and the West. So he needs to form a family. So this spy marries a assassin and gets a daughter who is a telepath. So that family, each one of them has a secret. They are hiding what they are and who they are from each other. And the mother and father are taking care of this daughter who is enrolling in this school, which the spy needs to infiltrate in order to get to that man that threatens the peace between the East and the West. So yeah, I think this has a great concept and a unique concept. And another book which has a unique concept in my opinion, even though it was disappointing, is Five Survive. They are like surrounded and trapped in an RV, and there's like sniper targeting them. So it's a unique concept, I guess. I haven't read a book with that concept before, let alone a thriller. So yeah, I think it's a unique concept, even though it was quite disappointing, but it is a unique concept. Next question we have is books you read that you would reread. I have three choices for that. The first one is The Right Move by Liz Dunford. This is one of my favorite books of 2023. In the Rain Have My Whole Heart, and I would definitely reread this maybe next year or the year after, but I need to reread it. It's also not really long, so I need to reread it. Hold me to that. But yeah, this one, and also I need to read the Shatter Me series, especially Ignite Me, but I really want to reread all the series again because I need to get back to these characters, get back to Kenji, which is one of the best side characters in the book world. He is the best friend, the best friend, the best side character, the best everything. Kenji is a mood. All of us need a Kenji in our lives. But yeah, I really need to reread these. And the last series that I need to reread is none other than the Hunger Games series. I read this series from October to December, and I need to read this series maybe next year at the same time, like next year in the fall. But I really want to read these and just take it all in again. It has so much resemblance to the real world. Susan Collins knew what she was doing, and especially right now, this has so much parallels to what's happening now, the genocide we're currently witnessing. But yeah, I really need to read this. The last two questions, reading goal reflection and 2024 reading goal. Okay, reading goal reflection. My reading goal was 50 books, and I read 52 books, including Powerless, which I'm currently reading. I will be finishing book before the end of the year. My total count would be 52 books, surpassing my reading goal, which I'm proud of. And 2024 reading goal, I think I'll put maybe 60 books as my reading goal. 60 I think is a reasonable number because I'm in university and I won't be free to read all the time, so 60 is an okay number, I guess. And the last question, after 2023 reading, what are you prioritizing in 2024 reading wise? Okay, so I think I would prioritize in 2024 reading more indie books. I need to read more indie books, more unpopular books, and maybe more long series like Throne of Glass. I really need to get to that. I can't really remember what longer series I wanted to read to. Oh, the Addicted series, Addicted Calloway's series, and also I'm trying to remember Zodiac Academy. Yeah, these long series, I need to read them. And not read hype books because a lot of people are reading them. I need to learn how to not pull myself into this circle of reading hype books because everybody's reading them. I need to read them. No, I don't need to read them because sometimes these hype books are not worth it. I think this is all I would prioritize to do in 2024. Oh, I forgot one. Reading more books that are on my TBR. My TBR has a lot of books and I need to start reading these, especially the TBR, the physical TBR that I have in my room. So I need to start reading these books before buying more. Hopefully I can do this in 2024. But anyways, these are all the questions and this is the video. I hope you enjoy it. I'll leave the questions in the description. Answer them in the comments if you want. Tell me what are your answers to these questions. What was your most disappointing read of the year? What was your favorite couple of the year? What's unpopular book you liked this year? I want to read more unpopular books, so if you have any recommendations, please leave them in the comments. And yeah, thank you for watching this video and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.